Welcome everybody to the PinstripeChronicles podcast. I'm Tats. I'm here today with Donald, and what a breakout game for Gallo. He had the two doubles, then he had the strikeout, and everybody's like, "Oh, here we go, typical Gallo." And then that seventh inning was such a pivotal inning. You sensed it coming. Did you have the same feeling I did, or you just knew something was going to happen?
He was on the whole game, man. The doubles, and I think we were just waiting for the big moment, and he got it, man. And no bigger moment too. That was a huge moment. The game was on the line, and welcome to the Bronx, Joey. Welcome to New York. Welcome to the Yankees. You're coming through, bro.
The best part of that inning was the at bats with Judge and Stanton to even be on base.
That's an underrated part of it.
Yeah, exactly. The ending was nice, but the whole story of the inning was, just as important. Judge, like, all right, it's just a single, and it was all with two outs. And it goes back to what we were saying yesterday. You don't have there's no lost feeling anymore, or at least for the moment, because there's a new energy in that dugout where they're like, we got this.
Mm-hmm. You can see the energy is palpable. You can totally see it now. Like, you saw the way that the dugout reacted. They're into it now. This is a whole new season, and I'm still catching up to it because my mind is still used to the way it's been since April or even prior to that, all last year. I didn't feel very good about this team. I didn't feel very good about anything about it. But since Rizzo and Gallo's come along, it's changed. There's a new dynamic in there.
Yeah.
And the energy's freaking great. And they're hustling and they're just doing special things on a daily basis. And it's exciting. It's taken a long time. I'm so glad that Castro made these moves. It's changed. It's a different ball game now. It's a game changer now. And now we're a very serious ball club. Now we're a very, very serious ball club and a club to be afraid of and down the stretch.
Yeah, even the pitching. The pitching was what we expected to be, what we needed to be. Cortes continues to just impress everybody.
Luigi.
The stash is the stash is special.
Yeah, special stash.
Yeah. So and you could just see he wasn't. We didn't expect him to be anything, and he's kind of developing to a legitimate starting pitcher right in front of us. And it just adds to what you were just saying, that there's just something special going on right now.
Yeah, they're all stepping up, man. A lot of guys, even Allen, before we started, I don't know, sending him down, he had a big part to play and waking us up a little bit in a couple of games, and then everyone's kind of pitched in now. And you're seeing guys contributing, and now you got our whole rotation. Tyon has been great. Montgomery's been great. We saw so much from Hill, and now we've got Super Mario, who's just been like this all year long. Yeah. He doesn't do anything spectacular. He just throws the hitters off. He's just a very good thinking pitcher. And it's a nice mixture because all we do normally is just throw 100 mile an hour. But with him, he's a thinking
a little
pitcher.
more finesse to it.
Yeah, he's finesse.
What I like is, although Cortes was pitching very well throughout the season, he wasn't an embarrassment like some of the other guys we had. Krisky, and that just never had it. They just never found a rhythm. Cortes, even when the spotlight was put on him with that spot start that day, you just see that he's mentally ready for Major League Baseball, and that speaks for its a lot about him, because a lot of players, especially if they're young or they've never really had their shot, they kind of can blow they could blow it very easily under the pressure. And Cortes is like, nah, no pressure.
Mm.
He's just got it. He's like, I got this.
Yeah, he's had it all year, man. Every start, he just does his job. I mean, you can't ask much more than what he's doing.
No, and it's we went into the All-Star break wondering what this team was going to look like, and and we were very critical of a lot of different things that were going on. The one, we were talking about some of the red flags that might be kind of fade out a little bit. I think the one thing that you're not seeing anymore is the base running blunders. We haven't had one in a while. And I think that's
Quite the opposite. We're actually seeing really good base running,
exactly,
and especially from Gallo. Gallo is running so hard.
When the runners are able to stay on base and read the defense properly and just move, go, work station to station, sometimes you're starting to see now the big hits are coming through when they weren't before, where the big hit was coming after somebody got caught on the bases. So now you're starting to see some, the runs pile up a little bit in these games. Even though it was just a 5-3 game, it was being able to get on base and stay on base for the big hit opportunity is starting to pay dividends.
Well, for me, Gallo's pushing the envelope. He's taking that extra base. He could have just settled for singles, but he's running so hard to get doubles, and he's putting pressure on the defense. And good things are happening. Our approach at the plate has been a lot better over the last few games. Mainly that we are actually putting the ball in play, and we're testing their defense. And then the more you do that, the opportunity comes for a 3-run home run. So it speaks to the 7th inning when Judge and Stanton got 2 out singles, and then the good things happen. That's the way it kind of worked when we were a good team back in the day when we used to win championships. That was the way that was the approach that we used to have, where it was like there's a crack in the door, and then you just you do your little thing, little by little, and then good things happen, big things happen from there, and that's what happened in the 7th inning.
Yeah, I also the going back to the pitching at the end of the game, with the 7 innings 7, 8, and 9, we're back to seeing Green, Britton, Chapman. And I think if the 3 of them can get into that rhythm, and if one of them needs a day off, you have Loizaga or so.
I prefer Loizaga to Green. Green's been scaring me for a while, man. He's been giving up a lot of home runs, almost each outing that he's out there. So I don't know what's up with Green. Britton's been better. I think he's starting to see.
Britton's still working himself up.
Yeah. He's still working himself, but he's still got that sinker that induces double plays, as you saw yesterday. And Chapman, well, he's still working through some things.
Chapman is what you're going to get. Yeah.
He's going to make you sweat before you get the save. But he's getting there.
We're sweating with him,
Yeah, for sure.
With closers are tricky. They really are. We got so spoiled with Rivera that our expectations for a closer have reached that level now that is unrealistic, in my opinion. I think we need to remember that, we're going to have base runners. It's going to, we might have a nail biter, but being a closer is being able to finish the job. And he's been able to finish the job of late. I think he has all those midseason, the first half, I think that's all behind him. I think he's back into a good headspace. So I think we're going to see just the Chapman we've been used to seeing. It might be a stressful inning, but 9 out of 10 times he's going to figure it out.
Here's the thing about Chapman, right? Almost on a yearly basis, he has these meltdowns, and they have to work it through with him. He goes through these slumps where he can't find the plate, and he's giving up home runs, and just when the fans are, pulling their hair out and the organization's pulling their hair out, he sorts himself out, and then he starts getting back to a rhythm. I think he is back in a rhythm. I don't think he's all the way there yet, though, because most outings he's putting runners on base, and it's, I mean, that was, a Gallo catch in the warning track right there, or that could have been a 3-run home run if that guy squared up on him more. I mean, we got away with it there yesterday.
Yeah.
Chapman, you're right. We're spoiled, and Chapman is a very good pitcher, and obviously his power, when his power fastball is working and his stuff is working, he's able to find the plate. He's elite and probably the best closer in baseball, but we need to trust him, man. And we've never been able to trust him in the playoffs. For much of I can remember, he seems to blow it in the playoffs.
I don't remember a reliever outside of Rivera that we actually did completely trust. Maybe Andrew Miller maybe was one of those guys.
Oh, I love Miller. Yeah, I think we've been blessed with in the bullpen department. Yep. Chad Green has been very reliable for a long time, minus maybe post All-Star break this year, and aspects of last year. Tats was terrific for a long time. Again, maybe he started to lose it a little towards the end, but he was terrific for a long time. And Loaizaga, we've developed into a very good reliever. I think we can possibly see Loaizaga in a future closer role. And Britton's never let us down, man. Until this year when he got hurt, Britton has never let us down. I think we've actually been blessed in the bullpen department.
Yeah, if you go, if when you break it down, you start naming, putting the names out there. Even David Robertson.
Robertson was very reliable, man. I always liked Robertson.
I always said
Evan never liked him, but I love him.
Anyway. If you want Robinson at his best, have him walk the bases loaded with no outs and then pitch out of it.
And he will, and he would.
And my father always, Houdini. That was his nickname for a while.
Yeah,
because he always, was like he couldn't pitch if there was nobody on base.
His numbers were always very good.
But speaking with the bullpen, tonight they're going to be. We're going to have Wandy Peralta as an opener.
Oh, really?
Yes. And there was a post on Twitter that was kind of asking if it was like a throwaway game of sort. Why Peralta? And my response to it was, the bullpen and the offense have kind of been in sync with each other for a few games now, for a week. You're seeing that the bullpen is a little more relaxed, that they're not under pressure because the offense is producing. So it's kind of like a yin and yang, where it has to blend together and gel for the team to be successful. So it's a gamble to have a bullpen game like this, but I think that the way they're playing at this moment, I think it's a gamble they have to take, and it could work for them.
It's a needs must situation because of COVID,
Yeah.
Gary Sanchez is down, Garrett Cole's down, Montgomery's down, so we're down.
Yeah, we don't have Michael King to call up because he's hurt. So
I know, and then we can't rely on Debbie Garcia because he's working through some things, and then Schmidt is just started his rehab assignment. So yeah, we're kind of up against it. Normally I hate the opener. In fact, 99 times out of 100, I hate the opener. And also the Yankees never operate an opener very well. In fact, they always usually screw it up. So, but in this occasion, I really can't complain because I don't really think there's much of an option out there, unless there's a better option that I'm missing. You know what I mean?
No, we
just have to roll it out there and see what happens.
If it doesn't go our way tonight, it doesn't go our way.
Who's going to be the bulk guy, though? Who will be the bulk guy? Will it be Holmes or what?
Might be Holmes. I was trying to figure out what I thought they were going to do. I'm really not sure. I don't think they'll go to a Loaizaga so early. Maybe you'll see Licky.
That's where the Sessa trade hurts us, man. Because
Sessa trade is hurting us right now.
That's where you could have put. That's where you could have put Sessa in.
Yeah.
In that spot, and he would have been fine.
So I think you'll see Holmes or Licky will be the.
Oh yeah, Licky. That's a good shout.
They could both go multiple innings.
Yeah. And
then you just piece it together and cross your fingers that the offense is going to continue to do what it's been doing. And the offense has been successful because they're much more patient at the plate. They're putting pressure on the pitcher, and they're capitalizing at when the pitcher shows a weakness, they're jumping on it.
What about Rizzo's swipe grab from uh, from the from Odor at third in the ninth inning? Remember
Well,
that?
the infield looks so much better with Rizzo at first. And it's no disrespect to Voit. He gave us a lot of good games.
Offensively,
He was
not
dynamic.
defense.
Yeah, he's not the best defense. No, he's not a good defensive player, but he was. Yeah, he's better. He was better than some of our other options.
I read on Twitter that Odor said that he's trying to figure out things at third base, and Rizzo just goes, dude, just throw the ball and I'll get it. Don't you worry about it. I'll be getting every one of them. And Rizzo is unbelievable at first base.
He is. Let's put a little spotlight on Odor's defense, because you see, he's working. He's really taking this seriously, being at third base. They say I hear he's doing a lot of infield drills before the game, and just really trying to acclimate him to that. And I think that's something that's got to be brought up in Odor's favor.
You're right, man.
This dude he's working hard to make the most of his time here.
He is, man. That's it. When you're DFA'd, and then the Yankees take a chance on you, you know that you got to fight for playing time, and you got to fight for your career, because it was when you're released by the Rangers, you gotta reevaluate some things. And Odor has come into New York and he has worked his butt off. He's made so many clutch hits, for one thing, and he's been kind of a spark plug when pre-trade of Gallo, etc. It looked like the dugout was dead. Right, he's been a kind of a spark plug. He's getting everybody up, and now he's been moved into a position that he's unfamiliar with. He's never been a plus defender, but he's working really hard, and he is making throws. At least they're semi on target to allow Rizzo to grab him. So you can't really ask much more from Odor, and he got a couple hits yesterday too. He's been great.
Yeah, and it's very hard to construct a team where you have plus defenders in every position. It's not easy. I don't care what team it is. It's hard to construct a team like that. It's hard to keep the players, all in sync with each other. The Yankee defense is really just tightened up, and that goes right back to the first baseman. And you see in that. We haven't seen a pitcher, a guy at first base like this in a long time. A lot of people are going back to Mattingly or Martinez, but I think the last guy we actually saw that was a legitimate defensive first baseman was Teixeira. And that was a big part of Teixeira's game he never got credit for, was his defense.
You're right. Teixeira was an unbelievable first baseman. But he got hurt a lot. So
at the end, he was hurt a lot.
You almost have to go back as far as Tino for the kind of grabs that we're talking here.
Well, Teixeira was good at those too. He was a vacuum over there as well. It was just his health. He was never able to be consistent. And he had a lot of slumps with the bat. But every player has a slump. Every pitcher goes through a little, like we said with Chapman earlier. Every pitcher goes through a slump as well, where it's like, they start getting in their head, like, all right, they start overthinking instead of just throwing the ball or just swinging the bat. Just do what you do naturally, and it'll fall into place. Just trust yourself, trust the process. That's where analytics needs to be put to the side.
You'd be a good coach there, Tats. That's very good advice, man. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the analytics coaches are doing the opposite. It's like, aim for the roof.
Just do the things that you were taught that got you to where you are. Then once you're back into that right mentality, then you go to the analytical book, and you see where you could tweak it, depending on the situation of the inning. Mm-hmm. That's where you can use analytics as a plus. Because we see a lot of times, and it's not just the Yankees, a lot of baseball, they're using these analytics and it's causing a negative. So
I think that's why Torres has been so bad this year. He's bad.
I
I think
he's
I
got
think
to
if
put
they
the
were,
book down and go back to what got him here.
he'd easily bat over 300 if he was just to revert back to where he was when he was coming up. See the ball, hit the ball, line drive hitter, but that uppercut swing that has been really pushed into him, drilled into him, I think he's taken at least 60, 70 points off his batting average because he's batting, 240 now? That's far below what he should be doing,
Yeah. No, the pitcher for the Mariners tonight, we got Gonzalez pitching for Seattle, and he's got a 5.15 ERA.
Well, that doesn't mean anything
that
with the Yankees, man.
exactly. It's kind of here's a guy and baseball's a rhythm. It's a feel, and the way that this team is feeling right now, these are the games that those high ERA pitchers should be, hit around pretty well. I think the Yankees need to put runs up in the first 2 innings and put the bullpen at ease, and that will pretty much self-navigate the rest of the game and make Boone's job a little bit easier. If he's able to do this bullpen game with a lead, I think it's going to be, another win.
Just mentioning that guy's name.
I know it cringes you up, but
could you? I mean, that's the worst thing about the opener is that it means that Aaron Boone has to manage a game and he has to manage a pitching staff. Like, those are two things that he cannot do under any circumstance.
Well, that's why the offense needs to capitalize in the first inning or second inning, get a lead, and take the pressure off of Boone, trying to manage where there's no runs or he's pitching. He's trying to navigate if we're behind. So I think the key to tonight's game is getting the offense going early, not late.
I need to grab my indigestion tablets for this game.
Do you think that's a fair?
Of course it's fair.
Game?
Who knows, man? Who knows? It's very fair, though. We just need you're right. We just need a lead. And the thing is, man, baseball's so unpredictable because you would think games are throwaway games, but then, we're fighting for our lives. Every game matters. So
yeah,
there's every chance that we come out and get a dub. We're really hot right now. We're only 5.5 games out of the division. Can you believe that?
That's just crazy.
It is crazy. Where we were pre Rizzo trade, way out of it. Wasn't even in discussion.
The off season, the postseason was looking like a pipe dream, and now we're seeing it as a reality. And they just have to keep grinding it out. And I think the roster now has enough interchangeable parts. Guys can get the days off when they need it. You could put, when Voit comes back, the offense is going to be even more lethal. Because you have, you'll have Stanton in the outfield. Voit is the DH. Rizzo can still continue to play first, or you'll have another formidable first baseman in Voit for Rizzo to take a night off. And so I think, and even late in the game, say it's a close game and you need to make a defensive move, you want to get Stanton out of the field, you have, the Jonathan Davis or Brett Gardner just to throw out there in the last inning or so, as a defensive move.
All right. So what do you make of Jonathan Davis suddenly making the team and it being at the expense of Allen? Why is that happening?
I think it was an options thing. I don't think it was a talent thing. I think it was because Allen had the option. Davis, I know, was claimed off waivers.
Yeah, but why would they do that when they've got Allen and got Florial and AAA? It doesn't really make any sense.
I know. Boone said they were trying to get some outfield depth. It doesn't make sense. I'm hoping it'll make sense in the next couple of weeks. Who knows? I'm not sure exactly. I thought our outfield depth was actually starting to show itself with the way that Allen was playing. You had Florial. So even as another name we hate to mention, is Wade. Wade's not as much as we get on him. He's still a guy you can plug into the outfield and in a defensive move late in the game rather, where he's got enough speed where he can track the ball down. He's not terrible at that.
Or now we're really going off the rails if we're discussing Tyler Wade. Let's go back to remember Brian Cashman was in his interview, and Kay asked him why he keeps throwing Gardner out there, and he says Brett Gardner is our best option at center field. Would you agree with that?
No, I do not agree with that. No, I thought at first I heard the question wrong, or I think did Cashman hear the question wrong? Because it was almost
he said no. Brett Gardner is our best option.
Because when Cashman said that, my first thought was the question for the first half of the year or now? So I went back and I listened to it a couple times just to make sure I was hearing it right. And then I'm going, what the hell is Cashman watching?
So maybe he is right that analytics isn't the be all and end all, because I don't know how. If you look at every analytic looking stat, Brett Gardner is way at the bottom, like towards the league worst for what you're looking at metrics wise offensively. I mean, I don't understand. And then you go Florial, who's sitting in center field, who contributed a lot in a very short period of time up here. And then you've got Allen, who really won us a bunch of games just with his energy and his speed. And it's really weird. I mean, obviously this isn't the case, but it really does look a lot like they just try and remove the competition for Brett Gardner. It's like, because there's no way anybody can tell me that Davis is a better player than Florial or Allen.
No.
Certainly not considerably better enough to claim him off waivers or whatever and fire him into the lineup. It just speaks to me like that the organization adores Brett Gardner, which is a fact. They do, and I can understand why. But I think they love him so much that they don't want to take away his playing time, because it just doesn't make any sense why he continues to get out there all the time.
No, you have to feel bad for him. It's not like he's going out there and he doesn't want to have the ability to do what he usually, what made him a Yankee. You want to see him go out on top, but at this point, is he pressing so much to make sure that he gives he wants that last roll call so bad that I think he just doesn't have, he's pressing so much. He lost his ability to do his job.
I don't think so, man. I just think he's 37. There's baseball father time catches up to everyone, man. It's just, and especially baseball.
Yeah, but we brought up yesterday, you used to see a lot of players in their mid-late 30s into their 40s that still had ability. Gardner just completely looks like he's just, his ability has disappeared. It doesn't make any sense.
I just really think that the Yankees, had they just had him stayed as a fourth or fifth outfielder and had him, just as a part-time player, I think he would have stretched out a little better. But because the Yankees kind of screwed things up so badly this year, with depth in center field, he basically had to play every day, and I think that's kind of slowly drained him out. And I think that's what we're seeing now. Because, I mean, the reason why I didn't want to re-sign him was not because I have anything against Brett Gardner, because why would you? Because he's a hard-nosed dude, great in the locker room, good defensive player, that kind of thing. You want those kind of intangibles, but I didn't want to re-sign him purely because I wanted the Yankees to save themselves from themselves. And I knew that as soon as they were going to sign him, he was going to be the starter, right? Whether it be Clint Frazier's spot or center field every day. You just knew that the Yankees were looking for any excuse to have him every day because they adore him. And it's and they're blinkered with that. And I think that's I think it speaks a lot to the way they feel about him, which I understand. But I mean, it's the loyalty is going too far now because they really should have given Florial a run here in center field. I don't really see any reason why they couldn't have given him an extended run, and then that would have made things a hell of a lot easier for the Yankees to go into this coming off season to go with, okay, what have we got in Florial? Is Florial someone that is going to be a legitimate player for us, or is he going to be a trade piece, or are we going to have to go into the center field market in the off season? You know, and I think you go with the upside there as opposed to just reeling out somebody who's 38, 37, 38 and batting 199. It just doesn't make any sense because there's no upside there. It's only downside. So that's my issue with the organization. And I'll stand by that.
Well, we have a guest coming in right now that I'm sure is going to have something to say. And but yeah, I just don't want them to see that.
What's going on?
Hey, Devin.
What's
You good?
up? Yeah, I'm just tired. Let's do this.
What the fuck?
But you guys can't do it without me, so let's go. Finish your
We were almost done.
Oh, the circles under your eyes. What the hell have you been doing?
I'm tired. Finish your statement, Donald.
Well, Devin, what'd you think of how Gallo had his breakout last night?
I mean, I think we expected it that it was coming pretty soon anyway. He in Miami hit some balls really close. We saw, the upside in him, and I expected it. But the shot that he hit, he bent down so fucking low, and then his whole back comes up and he hits it probably 100,000 feet in the air, and then it drops 2 feet back from the wall. It was hilarious.
That was crazy.
I was like, that's gonna go 1,000,000 feet. No, it didn't. It just went 1,000,000 feet in the air, and it was hilarious. That launch angle was insane.
Yeah, we also talked about the seventh inning on its own with Judge and Stanton's at bat leading up to Gallo to hit the home run. How important those two at bats were that really were not talked about once the home run was hit.
For sure. I mean, I think it was a good game. It's good that we're beating up on Seattle, and if Boston keeps losing and Tampa Bay keeps losing, we can definitely, what are we, 5.5 games back out?
5.5, man. 5.5.
It's possible, especially with the way this team is clicking right now. They need to keep the pedal on the floor and just keep mulling through these teams that they're supposed to be mulling through.
Yeah, I mean, I still the rotation worries me. How Boone's going to use the bullpen worries me.
Yeah, we discussed that.
There's still a lot of issues with this team, and it's like if we don't go out there and smash home runs, we're not going to get it done. we're built that way. Like we said, they've enhanced our system, and now we need 2 other guys to hit home runs all the time, or we're going to suck.
But the energy is different since Gallo and Rizzo. It's a different ball club because they were dead, completely dead pre-trade. That same team roll out there. This team's finishing 4th, and the Blue Jays are over ahead of them, and the Yankees are dead. But
easily, yeah.
But these Italian stallions that we brought in, it's a new team. Like you can just feel it. The energy is different, and they're taking it away from Aaron Boone to screw up, which is pretty impressive. But now we've got an opener tonight, and it's a great opportunity for Aaron Boone to overmanage and mismanage, and that's obviously it's a massive worry.
Yeah, it's a worry.
Well, that's why I pointed. I made I said to Donald, the key to tonight's game is get the lead early, take the pressure off of Boone. The way and the way he's going to have to handle the bullpen tonight. If he has a lead, it makes his job just a little bit easier. We were trying to speculate. Who do you think they're going to go to after Peralta in first? Because we don't have Sessa now as the long man.
Loizaga maybe.
You think they'll go to him that early?
Maybe not that early, but I mean, he's an option definitely. Trying to think who else is up here that can go far. But yeah, not having Sessa, that's an issue.
We were thinking Licky or who's the other guy we mentioned? Donald
Holmes.
Holmes. You know,
Well, I mean, you know how I feel about Holmes. He's one of my favorite pitchers that we have now. Yeah,
Really?
you could go with him second.
What else did we talk about?
Evan's just gonna come in. Like, so bro, have you got any awards for us today, Evan?
No.
No,
What's my question? I'm here. Let's go. What the fuck?
I did have. There was something I was going to ask.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh, but he already forgot it. Like, really, Tats?
I didn't write it down.
I blame Evan here because we were doing really fine without you. You come in and it's throwing Tats off, and the whole thing's going off the rails.
No, that's believe me. It's not. It doesn't. It's not. It's not hard to throw me off at all.
I forgot we were filming at 9 today, so I really missed a lot. Whatever.
Let me think. Yeah. Oh,
Rob?
the Field of Dreams game. What did you think of the retro jerseys? Do you think that they should have? You think that that's a cool move? What do you think? What are your thoughts on the Field of Dreams game?
I'm fine with it. It's an exhibition game. It's something fun. Whatever.
I think it's great. I think it's pretty cool. It's one of those things that kind of I'd actually would love to be part of it. I think that would have been a really cool thing to go to.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool, and I think it's something that you need to do in our sport because we don't really have anything that just stands out. You know, in hockey, you have the winter what's it called? The winter game, where they basically play outside at a ballpark. And some of those are the craziest things. Like they played at Fenway against it wasn't the Rangers, it was a Canadian team, I think, but they did that a couple years ago. Like it's fun. So to see a an exhibition game in the middle of the season, that's cool.
What about the uniforms? Have you seen the new Yankee uniforms?
I like
the old school uniforms.
I haven't seen them yet. No.
Yeah, really.
It's the retro jerseys to that era.
The old school NY from back in the day.
Okay.
Like,
yep. I know.
really
The numbers on the back look like they were used with electrical tape.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like really old school.
Yeah.
I've always liked the old school baseball. I think they're a lot better than the old school shit from some of the other. There's some really funky NBA old school jerseys and stuff.
This is much better than that shit about having the nicknames on the back of the jerseys. I hate
Thank
that.
you. That
I hated it.
I
hated it.
That's the other, Gardner was one of those. He didn't want to play in the game because he didn't want his name on his jersey. He goes, that's not how the Yankees do it.
There you go. I'll give credit to Gardner for that because that's the way it should be. This stupid fucking nicknames at the back. Leave that to Aaron Boone. You can call everybody fucking stupid nicknames. Add a Y to their names. You know what I mean? But so yeah, I fucking hate that new school shit where you put stupid nicknames at the back of the Yankee jersey. It pisses all over the mystique of the pinstripes with that shit. Despise it. But this is cool. This is something I'll give baseball big credit for. I think it's cool.
I think this is something they need to do. I think this should be a once a year thing. That they have a game like this where it just goes, back to basics. So unfortunately with the way that the velocities are with pitching, it'd be cool to see having to use the old mitts and the old catcher's equipment, just really have like a legitimate throwback game. I think that would be fun to see. Yeah. The other question, another thing that came up while listening to the radio yesterday with the Field of Dreams game, somebody had called up asking if there were going to be fences or is the ball just going to be able to roll into the cornfields? Yeah. Yeah, if it rolls into the cornfield, it's a ground rule double, you know.
Fuck that. They got to go in and find the fucking ball.
All right.
Yeah. And another idea that this one, I hope somebody from baseball is listening. Yeah, because they had an idea of when the players are announced, instead of coming up from the dugout, as their names are called, they come out of the cornfield. Like when they came out in the movie. I thought that would be a fun idea.
Okay.
But that's just me, I guess. All right. Have any final thoughts for tonight's game?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's win. We need to win. I mean, we need to keep this momentum going, and we need to hope Boston keeps fucking losing. Because we talked before the season about how we thought Boston would be this year, and I really thought they'd be a fourth place team. They're starting to play like it now. Okay, they're losing huge traction, huge momentum. So if they continue to do that, they are what we thought they were. And I've never been impressed with Boston. I think we were so horribly bad, as were other teams, and I think they had an easy schedule at the beginning of the year, and we're able to push them out. But I think we can catch at least Boston. I think Tampa Bay, though, that's going to be hard. I think as soon as we get close, they're going to pick up a lot of games.
I think Tampa is going to be the challenge for the division.
I believe we will get second place in the division if we continue this momentum. I do.
I just want Boston to finish, like you said yesterday. Yeah, I want Boston to finish behind us.
Yep, that's all I care about, to be honest.
Whatever else happens in the season, that's fine. But just to kind of throw a middle finger up to some of those fans that have been.
Well, they were brutal the first half of the season. I'm sitting there going, this is really fucking annoying that you guys don't suck, because I'm looking here going, wow, I see a lot of red flags with Boston, but every hitter seems to be hitting fucking 300 with 87 home runs. It's annoying.
All right, well, that's going to wrap things up for us today. Just remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out our social media handles in the description, and we will see you on Monday. So just remember to wear your pinstripes with pride and play hard.
Have a good weekend, folks.